Hello. This is yet another episode in a Pup in the Life. It's Monday and we are rocking and rolling. So, mom is driving. We're actually going to a business event later today, business matching event. So basically, mom is presenting the company to a bunch of people, and hopefully, some sale will just appear somewhere. The topic for today is actually something that mom overheard, and that's just actually not overheard, but that she was actually, got to know. Let's put it like that. I got to know because she was actually doing another business matching event, which was not a business matching event like startup corporate. It was more like a peer group of entrepreneurs, right? So she meets many people, and bear in mind it's a 6-minute conversation, so that's pretty rad. It's not something that she knew about before. She didn't have the details of the companies that were present, and so everything was just okay, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. And at some point, she meets different people, like working as labor consultants, as LinkedIn automation people, people that were selling ESG services, like literally, like basically whatever. And so she starts to meet these people, and at some point she got to meet one single girl. And trust me, girl, like if you're listening to this, please reconsider what you're doing, or I don't know, like think about it. I hope I can give you a different lens. So she do it. They meet. It's just 6 minutes of talking. So basically, like it's so difficult to get to know a person like in 6 minutes, but it makes sense, no? Like you're trying just to get the lead and then work it out, which doesn't mean that it's a lead because you're trying to sell them something. I mean, you already know the drill. Like the more people you know, the richer you are. That's just the truth. Well, so at some point, she meets this person, and they start to talk about what they do. And this person was like, "Yeah, listen, like I started my own company right at the boom of ChatGPT and AI tools, and I did it exactly in the middle of that by claiming that I don't use any of such tools. I created my copywriting company, and I just do copywriting." And at first, mom was like, "Well, that's kind of bold." And then secondly, mom started to think about it, in a colder manner, like through colder lenses, let's say, clear lenses. And she was thinking of, she was talking also with people, in general, in a context of work, and they were talking about it, and without mentioning names or specific cases, it's like, what makes a copywriting agency successful in the era of big AI tools? And it might not be very politically correct to say this, but it is what it is. And so mom started thinking about it, and she's like, who is an actual client of yours if you are an agency that does copywriting, probably LinkedIn, probably on articles, and you do it claiming that you don't use AI. So let's take for granted that it's sure that you don't use AI. So what else is in there? What should be there is that your avatar needs to be somebody that actually values quite a lot not using AI or similar, and that has a budget to buy copywriting services, considering that you're probably one of the best of the other people in the market. That might not just be true, but let's say that you're the top 3, top 5, top 10 performer in your field in terms of quality, which is very hard thing, a very hard thing to harness. But let's just say that. And at some point, you're there, and you're like, okay, is who is this avatar? If you ask mom, the avatar is a very rich person in the labor market, let's say, so C-level, or an entrepreneur, somebody that really, really, really desperately wants to build a credible presence online, but doesn't have the time to do so. So it's not a matter of money, it's a matter of buying people time and giving this person some time back. Who was doing it before? Probably another agency that was not focused 100% on that, or maybe has substituted parts with AI. Maybe it was the executive assistant that was doing that. Whoever, maybe it was that specific person. We need to study this platform and copy that in order to deliver a result. So imagine that is your target, or that target but for the company, so like big marketing that really do want to have, for example, a scientific blog post, and willing to spend lots of money to have an editorial cover for that. And trust me, there are many. And like loads of money for that. And to be honest, if you ask them, it's not a very justifiable amount of money. And you work in this market now, and without even mentioning that you're working in the realm of you have your company that is competing against journalists of all sorts that are not paid as much, and they try their best to just enter companies and work with them because it's easier for them to be paid and to be paid well. Even though they think it as not as interesting as being an actual journalist writing on newspapers, magazines, and whatnot. But that's the way to go. So like it's a very crowded market. And then again, your target is that avatar. What's the best way to just be able to reach the target? Well, as it may sound, it's writing and it's personal connections. Now, where are you going to do it? Not to spend so much money. Well, you're going to do it all LinkedIn. And guess what? Who is going to have the best? Somebody, A, that just starts it off. He has some existing clients from a former business, but who knows? Or person B, maybe hasn't started an agency. There are many such cases. Mom has done it the same, but not for copywriting at first. They're probably just already a strong presence on LinkedIn and is willing to try and find time. That audience, maybe just the 0.0001% of that audience, and just have these people refer them to somebody else. Now the question is, do you know personally, how many do you know of the CEOs and CMOs and CFOs and CTOs and CIOs and CROs and whatever, CPOs, you have it, of the Fortune 500 companies in your country? How many? How many do you have their numbers? How many do you have their emails? How many do you call them first name basis? How many can you write on LinkedIn and be sure you'll get an answer because you previously interacted? And how much time do you have to just build? So I'm talking about this story just to say it's very good to approach stuff in a contrarian manner. It's good to have different opinions, and sometimes it's even okay to have ideological stances. Like, for example, as an investment thesis, like mom is not investing in teams that are, for example, not gender mixed. Okay, the founder has not a clear obsession around the product, and this was a very clear case about this where I met with mom, the co-founder of a company of a startup, but he was not like clearly he was not so into the product, and they somehow came up with that. And there's nothing wrong about it. It's just it's depending on who is giving you money. And so the thing is, it's very okay to be contrarian, but like you need to be able to confront yourself with the market. And the clear question is, who do you think is winning here? Are you winning because you have an ideological stance, or because you do have skill sets and the willingness to work and the resources in place, to be able to cover up for what's missing, for all the path that you don't have behind what you have forward? I mean, you can. It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that it's very hard if you come from an ideological standpoint. Whether it's somebody like Gary that says it's just ideological standpoints are just not, are just right. I wouldn't say like this was a stupid decision, but I'm just saying it is probably coming from an ideological standpoint. That the market is proving to you very hard to break. And once you do break it, either you break it because the market tells you there's not a market, or you break it because you put an insane amount of work into that. Now, this can be applied to many other industries. I want to say this is the only case, but it's a clear, outstanding case, as if somebody would think, okay, I have an agency on those social media, which is what everybody did back in the day. And at some point, everybody needed to buy media agencies, or they needed to integrate social media in the freaking business. So, ideology is very, very different than business. And now sometimes it makes sense to just bring your own ideology up. But beware that it does result in very stupid decisions coming up because of your own ideological stance. So I hope this show, you can listen to this podcast, like, please reconsider what you're doing. Or like, just let's talk about it. Let's have a clear strategy to make you grow, to make your business grow, to go to people. It will take time, but it will make you grow. And if you don't want to grow, and you try to use like a random agency that grows, for example, 100K, 200K basically every year, at some point, like in 5 to 7 years, make up, even maybe 4, like $1 million to revenue. That's totally fine. This comes from somebody who has a business. But I'm trying to build something that's way too scalable with respect to the age model, that's where the inspiration is coming from. But anyways, there's nothing bad about it. It's just the market always rewards those who are able to change their minds. It is what it is. So I hope you find the podcast valuable. If you have some decisions to be made and you think about considering it, I hope this podcast is helping you out doing that. My mom is going to the event now, and it's the middle of October. That's pretty bad. I hope you're feeling well. Everything is good, and you're not too ideological on decisions, because markets rewards those who change their mind. I will send you kisses, hugs, and a bit of barks.